Dating advice for men dealing with pressure. So, this is how it goes. You want to meet new girls, but it doesn't seem to work out. Girls are not either interested or see you only as a friend. You ask your mom, sister, good female friend, what you should do or how to act before a date / when asking a girl out, etc. And the answer, like everybody knows, is always the cursed just be yourself. If she doesn't like you, then she isn't right for you, etc. Then you get frustrated because, well, for FCK's sake, I have been myself all this time and being myself doesn't work, or else I would have a great dating life / girlfriend. This is the paradox of the advice just be yourself. It is 100% correct advice, and at the same time, it is the most destructive and useless advice ever. The thing is, you don't know who you are. Or what is it like to be yourself? Your mother knows you. She has seen you your whole life. She knows about your quirks, what your humor is like, how you behave when you are happy, and also how you deal with stuff when you are sad, etc. The same can be said about your sister, or very good female friend. When they say be yourself, they mean be that person who you are when you are together with people with whom you are comfortable with. Be that version of yourself. How men misinterpret this advice, however, is that, well, I am nervous as shit, I am in a shit mood, depressed and angry at times, I don't really like talking to people, and in general I have no interest in trying to better myself, make my life more awesome, or doing anything at all. I am being myself. Why can't I get girl? This advice is BS, it must be all about looks and money. Is this being yourself? Yes, it is. But it is a version / side of yourself. People have many different sides. Is this side attractive? Probably not. Is it the end of the world and you are doomed now? Also not. First of all, these are general guidelines and my opinions. But also there is a very important difference between being yourself and super nervous. And being yourself, super nervous, but at the same time accepting that you are nervous and doing what you want to do regardless of fear. It's okay if you are nervous. It's okay if you don't know what to say. The answer is owning it and doing stuff regardless of your disadvantages. Being yourself is doing things you want to do, even if it's scary and others might not approve of you. Being yourself is saying that funny joke you like, even if there is the possibility that others don't. Being yourself is saying what's on your mind when something is troubling you, even if it might be a bit embarrassing. Being yourself is standing for your values when everybody else is calling you stupid. Being yourself is freedom. I believe the term should be authentic, not yourself. Being authentic means you're not trying to be something you're not. However, it also means you don't have to display everything about yourself all at once. Not expressing yourself is different from expressing inauthentic traits. If being yourself isn't working, obviously the approach is flawed. You can still be authentic without showing all of your unattractive flaws. I hated the just be yourself message, because it carries with it the implication that when everyone you have feelings for rejects you, they are rejecting you. And I carried that failure into all areas of my life, even areas where I am objectively successful. But OP is correct, and you really can't understand what just be yourself means. until your fake self actually succeeds. And it comes back to bite you. When, years down the line, you resent never being able to truly express yourself. The effort involved in maintaining that persona 24/7, or you or your partner realize that the one they fell for was a ruse. Be the idealized version of yourself, but be true to yourself. If you have to pretend to like things you hate, or hide things you love, she probably isn't the one. Women are also many times better at reading people than men are, so they will probably see through your fakeness and ditch you for it. Still bad advice for many people, because one of the reasons they might have started getting nervous is because being themselves never resulted in women they were interested in being interested in them. Many of the traits that some men have had ingrained as paradigms from young put them in friend rather than romantic feelings for most women. This post falls back to the same tired cliché, with a small side helping of confidence. The problem is that being confident in behaving unattractively rarely makes things better. Depends entirely upon what kind of unattractive behavior one exhibits. 64YEARS female here. Very curious to know what traits men have had ingrained as paradigms from young, that you believe put them in the friend zone with most women. Will you elaborate, please? I've made a slight edit to make it clearer. Things like not taking control, because it's nice to let others choose. Being helpful and offering to do things for others. Not making others feel uncomfortable or risking doing so. Not challenging or standing up for yourself. If you're interested in learning more, you could have a look at the book No More Mr. Nice Guy. While I thankfully don't tick the more toxic nice guy trademark traits, there's a lot of things I do. And just as much to men and women I'm not interested in as women I am. That reduce not increase attraction. There's a lot of things I do. And just as much to men and women I'm not interested in as women I am. That reduce not increase attraction. If you realize you do things that decrease your attraction to others, why do you continue to do those things? I don't/am trying to change the behavior. But the point is that the just be yourself advice is junk for people in those situations. Because you want to actively change to someone that behaves more attractively. As an example, I can confidently strut in clothes that aren't at all aesthetic, but I like, but it's not going to make me more attractive doing so. The problem isn't that the advice is junk. The problem is that it's scary to be naked in front of others. That is, however, part of growing up. Not everybody can muster up the courage to do that, but it's up to you to make that choice. You can be in your own prison forever, or feel the fear. Either way, you missed the point of this post, which was to explain what the be yourself means. You miss my point, which is that many people did just this. But it turns out their natural confident being yourself behaviors aren't generally attractive. Also, you partly try to redefine being yourself as being someone else for many people, describing something that is that the opposite of themselves. I'm not unconfident doing things, but I naturally don't like to put upon others or make a scene. I do stand up for myself, even when people call me stupid, like now, but generally won't in a lot of public situations. That's a deep paradigm, and while what you're suggesting may well be good advice, please don't try and cover it under the banner being yourself. If that is what being yourself is for you, then you're lucky, but don't try and twist it. So it's the same for others. When it comes to dating sites, if your looks doesn't grab her attention, then you're gonna have to step out of the be yourself zone to spark her interest. Unlike men, women get bombarded with messages of all sorts: crude, witty, romantic, funny, rude, and boring. If she happens to divert her attention to you, then that's when you start sprinkling in your be yourself attitude. Dating sites, well, that's the first problem. Most people aren't being themselves on dating apps. So I think you should talk to girls in person. And you might say because of C19 excuse. But there is still plenty of girls still out doing things. 0 point in dating. Exactly, you start with the best version of yourself. And if they like that, you slowly build trust. And show each other quirks and show each other the not too attractive parts. And then the bargain becomes: if you want the best parts of me, you have to accept these ugly parts too. If you are hot, maybe. One problem: I don't trust my mom enough to show her any of my true selves. You are talking to the bottom 80%. Because I can tell you, you are dead wrong when it comes to the top 20%. Women queue and fight over me. Or at least what fantasy they project on me. Be yourself is an American fairy tale told by women. To think there is someone for everyone. Well, I guess you are right in a way. Because I'm never my true self when I hook up. You can still be your unique self and seduce women in fulfilling desires. All women will understand instinctually what needs, desires, they envision being satisfied. In technique, you provide enough emotional uncertainty so they can imprint desires upon you using their own imagination. I hate it when puas describe this as mystery. You are not being mysterious. You are identify desires and how you can satisfy them, but in a way that uses enough emotional space so it is fulfilled, satisfied, completed by their own imagination. The perfect man is the one they imagine for themselves. Be that man. It is not necessarily a fantasy. It is just an expression of instinctual desire. In using technique, you do not have to change your natural seduction character. So in this respect you are being yourself. But you are not in what they seek. The dynamics are based in emotion and not reason. This is a hard concept to understand for many men. And even more difficult in application. You can intensify desire if you can identify desire. And how women see you fulfilling it. When you get experience, you can also start to identify what are driving these needs, which helps in escalation. When it comes to seduction as a technique, the capable, high-value males are in the top 0.4%. My own personal estimate for men having the basic skills is about 1 in 250 men in the available dating population can effectively seduce women. The reason there are not that many available is these men are good candidates for marriage and relationships. They have high emotional intelligence and know how to coexist in relationships if they want to. What? Just be fit, smell good, listen to their idiot stories, and they will start flirting with you. By then you just need a closer. They don't actually care about us, never will. Also, learn how to eat pussy. They will call you back. What is a closer? You say, they don't actually care about us, never will. But apparently if you know how to eat pussy and get them off, they will care enough to call you back. Can you give me one example of your expertise? With women that is not as obvious as learn how to eat pussy? You must have more than this. Yeah, they care about what you can give or provide. We as men are replaceable. A closer is a term used to describe the signing of a deal. So for example, she flirts with you. You give a proposal, i.e., want to get back to my place. If she says yes, you've closed the deal. When you had sex with this girl, and you are hitting it off but don't want to mess it up, tell her you want to get good. Tell her to give you pointers. And be vocal in bed. When for playing in bed, ask her what she likes. Don't be in a rush. And be attuned to her signals. Never be afraid to start from the beginning. When having sex, to reach a good orgasm you need build-up. And sometimes you need to restart the build-up several times. If you go in too hard too fast, none of you will enjoy it. Stay comfortable and relaxed for a hard boner. I'd recommend to read this rant, because it explains how to the right side of yourself. LMAO, you aren't even literate. I'm disappointed that you have not croaked. Your slime. Just be yourself is a meaningless deity. No, I am not talking about breaking the law. Or some stupid ass thing like that. Why not? Being yourself is saying that funny joke you like even if there is the possibility that others don't. Being yourself is saying what's on your mind. When something is troubling you, even if it might be a bit embarrassing. Being yourself is standing for your values. When everybody else is calling you stupid, why bother? Being yourself is freedom. Freedom is slavery. The problem is that it's scary to be naked in front of others. No, that isn't the problem. The problem is the punishment you get from being naked in front of others outside the right place and time. The scope of the advice given is in the realms of dating advice, not existentialism. This just makes me want to listen to the Type O Negative song. I don't want to be me in an infinite loop. It means be who yourself, be who you are, don't change yourself. For nobody, don't be a fake. Don't put on no match to try to disguise you. Who you really truly are. Thanks for watching my video.